let's talk about this story. So I don't know why anybody was shocked. I think I was like, really? And then I was like, yeah, that's him. Typical him. So yeah, Donald Trump got dragged on social media because he posted a picture of the Obamas as monkeys. Now I'm not gonna post it because I'm like, I'm not playing it, but I do got a picture regarding him. Since he won't play this game, we're gonna play it with you, sir. So um but he said he not apologizing because he didn't do nothing. But sir, you the one that posted it on live social. You the one that's been out here making multiple racist things or said many racist things for decades. For over 30 years, you have said many racist things. You even started the whole birther thing with Barack Obama saying he's not an American when he is. Because if he wasn't American, he wouldn't be able to be president. It's kind of like when one of my coworkers said, "Oh, he would like to see Zoran Mamdani become the president." I say he can't because he was born in Uganda. So if you were born in the United States, then you have a better chance, but not when you're in the U.S. I mean, not when you're from another country. Now, one of the many seedy guiding principles Donald Trump acquired from his mentor Roy Cohn was admit nothing, deny everything. And today, that approach, well, it was a couple of days ago, was evident as the former Apprentice host tried to wiggle out of a vile AI generated video posted on his live social depicting Barack Obama and Michelle Obama as apes. Now, speaking with reporters on Air Force One, because it seems like that's the one place that he likes to go to do his reports, he'll go and find the noisiest place to do his, you know, conversing with reporters. I've been noticing that. So yeah, on February 6th, while he was on Air Force One, he was asked by a journalist whether or not he would apologize for the video in which the faces of Barack and Michelle were imposed over the bodies of two apes, as the token song "The Lion Sleeps Tonight" plays in the background. In response to the journalist's question, the president replied, "No, I didn't make a mistake. I think I look at a lot of thousands of things. I looked at the beginning of it. It was fine," Trump continued. "I guess it was a takeoff on The Lion King, and certainly it was a very strong post in terms of voter." Oh my God, this man just speaks retard every time he opens his mouth. Now, after Joe Biden won the 2020 president election, Trump has repeatedly made debunked claims that the election was stolen. No, people were tired of your shit because you were horrible during your first term. And then they were like, oh no, we need another change, which I find relatively bizarre that y'all was so mad during his first term because he did a horrible job, as he does with every job that he does, he's horrible at. Then you go and bring in Biden because you thought he was going to clean up his mess, which he did. And then because of where we were a second time, you decided to repeat the situation. And this man has just destroyed all of our relationships with our allies. When y'all voting him in again, now I feel like it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be pretty bad on the next president that comes in, because this administration has ruined so many of our relationships with a lot of our allies, with Canada and Mexico and so many other people, Venezuela, with so many people from around the world, that when it really comes down to the situation of, well, how can we trust that y'all won't make the same mistake and continue to vote another Trump type in office that is more about dividing than uniting? Then how do I know y'all not gonna make that same mistake again? And then now it's like, we can't trust you because this is the second time y'all did this shit. So now we got these politicians out here who we were in good relationship and good standing with, that are gonna be looking at us like, well, I don't know if I could trust y'all, because these people in the United States keep voting for the dumbest people to put in the damn White House. But then again, like I said, it was Biden's fault, because if y'all would have prosecuted his ass back when y'all had enough evidence, then we wouldn't be in the position we're in right now. And I'm not saying that Kamala would have been anybody. I mean, she would have been way better than what we're currently getting. But at least if there was any of the things that we had issues with like her not denouncing what Israel is doing to the people of Palestine, we could have held her feet to the fire and we could have held her accountable, and she wouldn't have behaved the way he's behaving. That anything you say, if you say anything remotely against his administration, they want to throw you in prison, they want to deport you, even if you're an American citizen. They want to do all these other things to shut you up and to scare you into silence. So I don't think we would have gotten that with her. But like I said, we could have held her feet to the fire if she would have did some shit that we didn't agree with politically. So I don't know why y'all surprised that he didn't apologize. He's never apologized for anything he does, even though we know he's in the wrong. So he also went on to say, nobody knew that was what? I think they meant nobody knew what that was in the end. If they would have seen it, and probably they would have had the sense to take it down. You're the one that posted it. So what are you talking about? And then you talking about the election was stolen. You know exactly what you were posting. Like, let's not act dumb and try to act like you don't know that equating Black people to being an ape is racist. We're not gonna sit up in here, yeah, because I want y'all to hold on. Let me take this out because I want y'all to see this full picture. So I'm putting that there. So we're not gonna sit up in here and act like we don't know what all of this means. That you're not up in here trying to microaggression, like put out a microaggression and literally put out that yes, when you equate Black people with apes, that is racism. That's racist. And that's why I said, I know this motherfucker ain't talking because you literally look like an orange orangutan. You look like the orange orangutan that was in the last Planet of the Apes movie. Literally, that was you on that damn screen. So if you're going to sit up here and try to spew things, at least be upfront about it and stop trying to act like we stupid. And I think even the white people that voted for his ass kind of, I don't know. You don't think you should have went there with that whole situation. Like, even they're like looking at it like, okay, you went a little too far. And he knows he went a little too far. But this is what this administration does. They like to see how far they could push the line, toe the line, and see how y'all react, and then try to redact what they did. Kind of like them Epstein files where they try to redact. But a lot of the stuff has come out, and we already know that you're a rapist, you're a child unaliver, because all of that is in there. You've been mentioned more times in the Epstein files than Harry Potter's name been mentioned in all 7 Harry Potter books. So you're a guilty, disgusting, 35 plus convicted felon. And people still make excuses for him. Y'all can just go drown yourselves. I don't care what y'all, what y'all even have to say. So Caroline Levitt, who about to give birth to Damien from The Omen, basically defended Trump's post in a statement and said this is from an internet meme video depicting President Trump as the king of the jungle and Democrats as characters from The Lion King. Girl, don't start to spin this like we dumb. Please stop with the fake outrage and report on something today that actually matters to the American public. So if that's what it was, and y'all standing 10 toes down on what y'all saying it was, because you're trying to play in our face like we dumb. It's like what I always say about my girl, Judge Judy. Don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. So the post was later removed. A White House official said in a statement to People, a White House staffer erroneous made the post. It has been taken down. Of course, now we're going to blame it on everybody then who it was. Because if it's La Social, that's your site. That's your website. So how you going to sit up there and blame it on somebody else when we know it's your site? He did it. Now, do I think that he has people that speak Trump that write on his page to continue to rile people up because he's not always going to be on there to do it? I do believe that he has people that do it, but the man's ego is so damn big. He wants to be able to have control over what is and what isn't said on his social medias. Just take ownership. But like I said, Trump will never do that. He's never been one to take responsibility for anything. Everything is great. Business is great. And nobody creates disasters, even though he's a walking chaos demon. But it's everybody's fault but his. But like I said, if you felt what y'all was doing was great, and if you standing 10 toes down on the shit that you post, then why remove it? Keep it up. Since you big and bad, since it wasn't something negative, we need something more important to talk about, according to that old dumb bitch that stands up there with that cross around her neck. I'm surprised that shit didn't burn her skin or turn her into ash, because you the last one that should be wearing a goddamn cross around your neck, as evil as she is. So now the post was later, as I said, and then they said multiple Republican politicians have called on Trump to apologize for posting the video, including that tap dancing coon with the big gums and the baby teeth, Tim Scott, who said that he was playing that the video was not you playing that it was fake. Can't with him. When he coming out of the closet? And then they said because it was the most racist thing I've seen out of this White House. Really? That's the most racist thing you've seen? Take your little Bojangles shoe shining ass and go play in traffic. Now, Scott, who endorsed Trump for president in 2024, concluded the post by urging Trump to remove the video. Now, following Scott's criticism of the video, Trump said that he spoke with Scott. Oh, please, who gives a shit? They also said the president's post advantages a long-standing racist trope used by slave traders and segregationalists to dehumanize Black people and justify their mistreatment, which they all knew that. But as I stated before, I truly believe, or maybe I'll send this a conversation about it and say it here, all this is a distraction from the Epstein files. The Epstein files is out. Things have been, a lot of the YouTube commentators, political commentators, have been talking ad nauseum, and rightfully so, about the Epstein files. They've been combing through it. They've been posting a lot of the information of a lot of Wall Street people, a lot of business people, even people in Hollywood, legendary publicists. What was her name? Peggy something. She got mentioned in there. Barry Weiss's wife, yeah, that bulldagger. Her wife is all up in the Epstein files. They're all connected. Even one of the guys that she hired, the doctor, I forget his name, but she hired like some doctor that's got a that's on CBS. He's all in the Epstein files. He was Jeffrey Epstein doctor and Joe Rogan's doctor. So all of them are, so it's like it's all one big cesspool of rapists, abusers, child killers, all kinds of people that have been hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein. It just shows how deep this rabbit hole goes. And that's what all this is. This is all a distraction because they know you say something racist, you go against people in the community, that's going to rile people up. That's going to rage bait. So it'll take the distraction. But it's like, we haven't forgotten, sir, about the Epstein files. So we got to keep an eye on the ball. We got to keep bringing it up. And this is, like I said before, he's never been one to take accountability for anything he's done. So I'm not surprised that this guy who's always pushed racist ideologies won't apologize. So why would y'all expect him to change who he is? He's at that point where he is who he is. He's always been who he is. He's not going to back down from it. So I'm not expecting his apology. And if he gives one, I wouldn't believe it. It would be sincere. Because when you have the blackest of blackest holes and you have no sincere bone in your body because you have borderline personality disorder, I'm not expecting you to have that side of that side of yourself to even be a thing. Look, this is the same man that started the Obama birther lies and whose family would deny Black people from renting space in their apartment buildings. So, which I believe they sued Trump's father over something like for discrimination. He also took out a full-page ad in the New York Times to push for the Central Park 5 to be executed. Let's not forget about that. That was in the 80s. And also, before he was elected as the 47th president, he said the Haitians were eating cats and dogs. Y'all forgot about that? And the majority of his voters majority of his supporters voted for him anyway. Even the independents went and voted for him. So this man has shown time and time again that he's an evil, vile, soulless human being who's also a racist that shits himself during press conferences. So don't be surprised that this is when people show you who they are, as I've said many a times on this channel, quoting my girl, Maya Angelou, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? It was like, I wasn't surprised at all in regards to this whole thing about Trump being racist. You would think that, gone are the days when the people that were the leaders and the representation of America had some kind of class. But these are the most low-class, trailer park, gutter trash people that I've ever encountered in my life. You would think that people with money would show some kind of cool, but I guess that don't mean anything. Just because you got money doesn't necessarily mean that, as Countess Luann said, money don't buy you class. That's what she said. Elegance is earned. And they lack elegance of any kind. Him, and then JD Vance getting booed over there at the Olympics in Italy. Also, Israel got booed. I heard about that too. The people, people around the world, they're not playing with these hoes out here. So I want to definitely hear from y'all regarding this story. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below.